Airbnb.
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 Wow.
Airbnb filing a lawsuit against
The new rules on Airbnbs and short-term rental.
But Airbnb,
Wow.
they have about 40,000 listings. Some say it's going to be 10.
Imagine losing everything because you became an Airbnb host. There's a woman in California who's $300,000 in debt and homeless because of Airbnb. But much more frequently than that scary story is a very common problem with Airbnb, which is that Airbnb bans people. Sometimes Airbnb bans you for bad stuff, other times just because they feel like it. I met someone today who's walking a very thin line on getting banned, and this one's already happened to thousands of hosts, including me. I can't believe it. This is insane. A text message at 1:30 in the morning. Can't access the account. We're locked out of the account. This video will help you by teaching you the very common ways that most hosts end up on the wrong side of the ban hammer. And by the end of this video, you will have a plan for just in case you do ever get banned. So strap in, hit the subscribe button, and let's begin. I posted a video as a joke on TikTok saying I would never post cameras in my Airbnbs to monitor people unless it was a political adversary. Someone wrote in the comments confessing that they have a camera in their Airbnb, in their kitchen, facing the front door. And they are doing this to protect their home because there are so many guests that throw parties and continuously smoke and do all these crazy things that if they don't catch the guest with footage, Airbnb won't enforce their own policies. So now hosts are in this spot where they need cameras or devices to protect their home, but by putting a camera in their home, they can get banned. And when you get banned on Airbnb, if you've built your whole livelihood on the back of that business, it's curtains. There are two other devices that I recommend to solve your issues in this case. One is called Minute and one is called WYND. I like them both. WYND will give you a free device and you pay for their monthly membership. They're known for smoking detection, but they also do noise detection. Minute has a lower monthly charge. I think they just added smoking too. They also do noise and crowd detection, counting the number of devices in your home. The reason why WYND could still be for consideration here is because their technology uses pattern recognition through a machine learning algorithm and electromagnetic photography that will be able to recognize exactly what is in the air in your home. So if you had mold, for example, it would be able to say, hey, we've detected mold particles through this photography in your home. It would detect smoke as per usual, but that second line of defense is going to be super cool in the future. Monitoring devices are not the only reason why Airbnb bans people. But as we move into that story, and as you're hopefully hitting the subscribe and like button right now, let me tell you, you cannot use a smart home device like a Google or an Alexa because they transcribe the words that are saying in order to understand what it is that you said to give you the search that you asked for. In summary, you say some words. They're sound waves. Google or Amazon listens to those and then takes that sound wave and turns it into text. They then save those text searches, and that is a recording. That counts as recording, that counts as surveillance. Someone could argue that you are illegally monitoring them by saving the words that they've said with your smart home device, and you can get delisted for that. Be careful. Other crazy ban hammer stories that I've heard from Enrico, the attorney that I did the arbitration webinar with, which is arbitration is a version of how to sue Airbnb when they do things wrong, something that you need to know, by the way. There are times where Airbnb has banned people, say they're parents of a child, and that child did something wrong as a teenager. The child has a record now, like a juvenile record. That child uses the same credit card for a purchase that the parents used at one point. Like the parents gave the kids a credit card, something like that. Shared financial information that is linked to someone with a criminal record, in this case, got the parents delisted from Airbnb, got them banned. There are plenty of cases where a guest calls and complains about something that may or may not be true. How many of you know stories about guests saying something that was not necessarily true, but Airbnb took their side? Happens sometimes, right? It can be so bad that Airbnb will delist you while they investigate, but then the investigation goes into the ether. You hear nothing about it till way later, if at all anything, and they've removed you for weeks, months, years. Now, in the case that they remove you and still reinstate you months later, you might have already defaulted on your rent, on your mortgage, your payments to your employees, whatever. You're already out of business by the time Airbnb comes back and fixes it. Enrico, the attorney that I mentioned, just finished a claim, I believe, with a customer who had the same issue with an insurance claim with Airbnb, where Airbnb's air cover claims to cover you, but it's not really insurance. What they do is they sit in the back seat if you have a homeowner's insurance policy, and they wait for your homeowner's insurance to close their case. Now, your homeowner's insurance may not cover something that is Airbnb related, and if they don't close the case, for whatever reason, Airbnb doesn't spring into action. They take that back seat. There was a homeowner who went destitute as an Airbnb host because he could not get the money to repair his home in time. Thus, he could not continue to host on Airbnb. He lost his business. I'm not trying to scare you. Not too much, at least. But you need to at least know the severity of this, because this could happen to anybody. And a lot of people are afraid to act out against Airbnb because if you acted out against Airbnb, like filed an arbitration for damages that a guest did that Airbnb wouldn't pay you for, you think that Airbnb might just remove you from the platform, right? We're not going to pay this person, we're going to delete them. I found out that not only is that a myth, but it's the opposite. If you file an arbitration claim, something valid, like the guest stained some sheets and Airbnb wouldn't pay you for those stained sheets, or a guest smoked and Airbnb wouldn't pay you for the smoking fee, or a guest caused damages that forced you to unlist your property for a few days and you lost a booking and Airbnb owes you money for that, all sorts of things. If you filed even a modest arbitration claim for some monies, and that's on the books, it's on record, Airbnb can always be scrutinized for retaliation if they ever removed you from the platform. They have to prove that it was not retaliatory. That's an extra step. That means they're going to be extra careful with you if you've ever, by your right, filed an arbitration claim. I did a webinar with Enrico. It's public. It's here on YouTube. Watch that next. And if you want education on how to file arbitration, if you want template arbitration documents, if you want boilerplate language that helps you fill out an arbitration document to send it to Airbnb so that way Airbnb pays you for stuff, if you'd like a roadmap through the arbitration process so you can do it on your own and not have to pay an attorney, I will include that link in the description and probably here in a corner somewhere so you can take the webinar that we did together. Don't miss that one. Like seriously, it's a big deal. But guys, hopefully this was enlightening. Thank you so much for watching this video, and as always, I'll see you on the other side.